JB Pritzker, the governor of Illinois state, has stirred a massive controversy over his recent actions to promote transgender based policies in the state, only to counter Trump's agenda, Trump's influence. Here is a breakdown of his controversial stance and why many find it troubling. Let's talk about the Transgender Awareness Week first. During Transgender Awareness Week, the week ending on November 19th, Pritzker used the platform to emphasize his support for gender transition treatments, stating on social media, "This Transgender Awareness Week, I want you to know that I see you and have your back as governor. Illinois has enshrined protections for gender affirming care. You will have a home here always." While these words may sound inclusive, critics argue that they reflect an extreme approach disregarding growing public discomfort with the rapid push of transgender ideology. Here is a family connection as well. Pritzker's cousin, James Nicholas Pritzker, now known as Jennifer, is a prominent transgender figure. Jennifer runs a left-wing portal that funds initiatives promoting gender ideology. Some critics claim that this family connection has influenced Pritzker's policies, turning Illinois into a testing ground for radical social experiments. Let's look at some of the policies of the state that have raised eyebrows. As governor, Pritzker has actively implemented sweeping measures linked to transgender policies and rights. Number one, education policies. 3 years back, he directed the Illinois Department of Human Rights to enforce rules ensuring that transgender, non-binary, and gender non-conforming pupils have access to facilities and opportunities aligned with their identities. This includes allowing minors to use any bathroom or join any sports team they choose, regardless of medical transition status. Number two, taxpayer funding. Under his administration, Medicaid funds can now be used for gender transition procedures for individuals under 21, raising concerns about the use of public money for what some see as experimental and irreversible treatments. Critics argue these policies prioritize ideology over practicality, fairness, and safety. Allowing biological males to compete in girls' sports, for instance, has sparked backlash nationwide, with many viewing it as unfair to female athletes. Pritzker's aggressive push for transgender policies may be out of step with the general public. While Illinois leans Democratic, Trump has made notable gains in the state over the past few elections. Even on November 5th, Trump closed the gap with Pritzker's party compared to previous elections, particularly in Chicago, where his support nearly doubled from 2016. Polls also show strong national opposition to the transgender agenda. A Rasmussen poll found that 60% of Americans oppose gender-linked treatments for minors. This Center Square poll reported that 59% of Americans disagree with minors undergoing transgender medical treatments. Additional polling indicates a majority of voters oppose trans athletes competing in women's sports. These numbers suggest that Pritzker's policies may not align with the beliefs of many Illinoisans or Americans more broadly. Beyond policy, many believe this intense focus on transgender issues is a distraction from more pressing concerns like education, healthcare, and public safety. A recent poll found that voters increasingly view transgender debates as a political sideshow more than a priority. Governor Pritzker's staunch advocacy for transgender policies has positioned Illinois as a leader in this contentious arena. It is an overreach that disregards public opinion, public sentiment, and fairness. In a time when most Americans seem to prefer moderation, seem to prefer Trump's agenda, Pritzker's approach alienates more voters than it attracts.